Hi, my name is Jared Giddens. I'm Director of Business Development for Meridian Title. The State of the Community Dinner is extremely important to us because it lets us know what all is going on in our community, from the city, the fire department, the schools, and every other organization. And that's really important for us to be able to plan our long-term goals in the community and how we want to help out and how we want to continue to develop our business. I also think it's very important for businesses that are looking at coming into the area because they can view this and see what's going on in the community, how they can plan their business model around this community, and ways that they can be involved. And it also helps us find additional ways that we can be involved by hearing where we might be lacking in some areas inside our community. So special thanks to the Nixa Public Schools for putting this event on. We are honored to be a part of it and looking forward to this in years to come.
Good evening, my name is Jared Taylor, State Representative District 139. I represent the western half of Christian County in the Missouri House of Representatives in Jeff City. I just wanted to go over a couple things that we did this year. We had a really good year this year, passed a good budget and some good legislation for the state of Missouri and for the people of Nixa. We passed a budget of $35.6 billion. Some highlights include fully funding the foundation formula, again for I believe this the 6th year in a row, which included $7.5 billion total in funding, which was an increase this year over last year. We included an additional $20 million for transportation funding, which is about $120 million, which hasn't been done for the last several years. We had record investment in our early childhood education. The budget included a $1.4 billion for higher education, which included $67.5 million restoring funding from last year that was cut due to budget cuts for four-year institutions. It increased 3.7% over last year. We had a $10 million addition to the 12 community colleges throughout the state. We also increased help to our most vulnerable children. We increased $40.7 million for adoption and guardianship substitutes, $12.8 million in increase to foster care families to help with the subsidies that they receive from the state for doing foster care program. We had several good pieces of legislation that we passed this year, 65 in total, which is a little bit low compared to normal years. Usually we have about 100 to 150 bills that we truly agree and finally pass. So we had 65 this year, but some good pieces of legislation, which included House Bill 349, the Empowerment Scholarship Accounts, which would help parents afford the best educational opportunities for their students and what they believe is best for their students' education needs. We also passed legislation to help women that are domestic abuse victims. Senate Bill 71 was a bill that we passed that dealt with allowing individuals to get lifetime order of protections. Right now they have to go year after year, and we heard many stories where domestic abuse victims were having to go face their abusers year over year, being in court 65, 70 times. And so we worked with law enforcement, worked with prosecuting attorneys to get legislation through that would allow them to get a lifetime order of protection so they wouldn't have to continue to face their abusers and be re-victimized. We also passed House Bill 476, which would cut bureaucratic red tape for veterans that are coming back that need jobs in our community by cutting out the requirement that they would have to go back to school, get additional schooling to meet Missouri's requirements. It recognizes the military occupational license in order for them to get the license here in the state of Missouri to get more of those folks back to work quicker and get them into job placement where they are absolutely needed. We passed several bills to help law enforcement and to support law enforcement and to ensure public safety is met, including Senate Bill 53, 60, and 26. Some other pieces of legislation that we were able to get through this year was legislation to prohibit government entities from requiring vaccine passports. So ensuring that government isn't requiring those in the state of Missouri. We didn't make any decisions or determinations on private businesses requiring those for their employees. We also helped agriculture in the state of Missouri, our number one economic engine in the state of Missouri. We passed some pieces of legislation to protect our farmers, to protect their farms, and also making sure that they are able to continue to operate without intrusion from the government and from individuals. A piece of legislation that I've been working on for the last several years made it across the finish line, which is the Second Amendment Preservation Act, or SAPA, which is House Bill 85. We were able to get that across the finish line. This legislation protects Second Amendment rights in the state of Missouri by using the Supreme Court upheld decision of the anti-commandeering doctrine, which says that Missouri law enforcement isn't going to be commandeered by federal agencies to enforce something that Missouri believes is an inherent right, a constitutional right, which is the Second Amendment. So this bill says that we're not going to be forced to use our resources to enforce federal gun laws on law-abiding citizens of the state of Missouri. But it also makes sure that law enforcement can still do their job by putting away the bad guys in our communities and protecting citizens of Nixa and the state of Missouri. This is my last legislative session coming up. I'm being termed out. In the Missouri legislature, we have 8 terms, and I am in my 7th year, so next year will be my 8th year. It's been an honor to serve the citizens of Nixa and the surrounding communities in Christian County. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate everything, all the support that you've given me, and for the communication that you've given me over the last several years on legislation that was important to you. If I can be of assistance, please feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to continuing to serve you in other capacities.
Good evening, Nixa. My name is Ralph Phillips. I'm your presiding commissioner. Before I begin tonight, I want to take this opportunity to thank all the stakeholders in your community for collaborating and working closely together over the last 18 months to ensure that the decisions we were making were unified and with the best information available. Between the county, the schools, the city, and all the stakeholders, a sincere thank you from our team. To begin with, let's start off where we left off last year. In November, we had the ribbon cutting for the Riverside Bridge project. And the economic impact that's had on our community is huge. You cannot put a value on the economic growth that the Riverside Bridge has initiated. For example, one of the biggest projects that's going on in our community right now is the Finley Farms, to include the Ozark Mill. I think these 2 venues will have far-reaching impact on other growth in our community, which again gives us that revenue to keep up with our infrastructure. It's amazing. I hope that it brings us closer together. We can all meet and enjoy the venue that's being established throughout the county. After that, we wanted a little joy, so we did the Friday night lights on the square, which if you weren't able to attend, I will tell you that this year will be bigger and better. The 3 Friday nights leading up to Christmas, Santa arrives in a historic vintage fire truck and followed by children's choirs. With the things that were happening last year, we felt it was something we could do to bring some joy to our community. So this year, we will be doing that again and with more of a bang. Moving into the beginning of 2021, some of the things that our team's been able to accomplish is we received our 3rd consecutive 100% compliant audit from our external auditor and accounting firm. And also, a 2-year project that the auditor has worked on tirelessly is to provide the transparency portal. So you can go to our website and click on the transparency portal and see how your money's being spent and who it's going to. We felt this was another step in being 100% transparent. Again, our goal as a team is to be the #1 county in the state of Missouri, and we are receiving recognition that we are on the right track, from a reduction in our, like I said last year, in our workman's comp modifier to 0 litigation based on poor practices. Another thing I wanted to bring up that I feel is important to property owners in our county is that you can register with our recorder of deeds, Ms. Hall. You will be notified if you register that any transaction that involves any property of yours, you will get notification. So this cuts down on frivolous claims and filings. One of the things that we've had to navigate this year through is our rapid growth. 2019, we We set a record in building permits, followed by another record in 2020. And it looks at the pace now that we will exceed that record that was set last year. Single-family dwelling growth is exploding, as well as in our municipalities. Again, this has some downside to our revenue, is the fact that we have to buy local. I encourage, please shop local, because that's where the majority of your infrastructure funding comes from, is sales tax. And I think that's something we saw last year with some of the orders of stay at home and people working from home. People were making purchases within the county, which has shown a little bit of an increase in our revenue, which is always helpful. To back up a little bit, I'd like to talk about the pandemic. Give a sincere thank you to all of our schools, our healthcare providers, our pharmacies, and our emergency management. Utilizing the funds, we were able to provide not only a testing site at no cost to the citizens, but also vaccination sites. Again, it was a partnership to include reaching the homebound that we were able to reach out to and make sure they were vaccinated if they weren't able to come to one of the sites. One of the things that we're going to be working hard towards in 2022 is our comprehensive plan in partnership with SIMCOG. They're a tremendous organization. And so over the next 6 to 8 months, look forward to receiving dialogue between us to get your input on how you see this county in a long-range planning aspect. We currently have a committee made up of all the entities throughout the county and Southwest region to ensure that our comprehensive plan is meeting the needs of the citizens. In fact, currently you can go online and review that survey and tell us. We want to hear what you have to say, what's important, what you'd like to see more of. It's obvious that Christian County is a place that people want to be, and we want to make sure that we provide the utilization of the tax money that will meet the needs of everyone, or the majority. I want to also give a big thank you to Show Me Christian County. Show Me Christian County is critical in navigating countywide projects and to attract and retain businesses that's going to generate that revenue to keep up with our infrastructure needs. One other thing I would like to say I was really proud of last year was the opening of our 2 library extensions, one in Clever and one in Sparta. That was long overdue, and they have been a great success. In closing, I'd just like to say how grateful I am to be a part of this community and what it means to all of us, especially our team, to get the support, guidance, and input from everyone. And we will continue to strive to be the #1 county in the state of Missouri. Thank you, and God bless.
As always, before we start diving into the Nixa Chamber Year in Review, I must tell you that we are so thankful for our 550 members, our board of directors, ambassadors, volunteers, chamber staff, and of course the community of Nixa for its continued support of your Nixa Chamber. I think after what we witnessed in 2020 and the continued growth we had in the city, the local economy, and our chamber, we were once again excited to roll into 2021 determined to keep our Operation Forward initiative on track. We had full intentions of making sure we were able to have our big events, plus continue to be the resource to foster economic development and support for our local businesses and organizations, while creating even more opportunities for those entities to engage not only business to business, but also with our Nixa community. Our first big event was Nixpo with a new twist. We added a fashion show, and it was a huge success. We were very happy with the way the community responded, adhered to our safety guidelines, and enjoyed our 25th annual Nixpo. We had thousands in attendance and over 120 different businesses and organizations participating during the showcase. We do plan to continue with the fashion show in the next year as part of Nixpo and have even bigger plans for 2022. Next up was the 63rd annual Nixa Sucker Days Music, Arts, and Crafts Festival. After skipping 2020, this was only the second time the Chamber hosted the event, and we were so excited to keep this tradition going, and wow, I mean seriously, like wow, what a huge success! With over 100 arts and craft booths, 15 different food vendors, rides, games, 2 stages, Little Miss Main Street pageant, dog show, talent show, Nixa Schools art show, cornhole tournaments, parade, and so much more, we were very happy with the outcome. The other cool thing was over 40 businesses were able to either participate or sponsor something during the event, giving them the ability to engage with the Nixa area. Also, we were able to hand back over $11,000 in donations to various organizations who helped us pull off our town tradition. 2022, well, let's just say it's going to be even bigger. We are finalizing the plans now, and you can expect some sort of week-long celebration, including expanding to Sunday in 2022. Our next big event was the return of the Sky High Fireworks Celebration. This one was also very dear to my heart. My father was the fire chief back in the early 1990s when the Nixa Fire District started the fireworks show. It was something he had a vision for Nixa, and that tradition went on for many years, including help from the Nixa Chamber and Nixa Parks. Then after the 2015 show, frankly, Nixa just got too big and we ran out of locations. This year, during Imagine Nixa, the city's strategic planning sessions, the citizens mentioned bringing back fireworks countless times, so your Nixa Chamber took the initiative. With the help of the Nixa schools, the city of Nixa, and many Nixa businesses, we were able to bring back sky-high fireworks to our beautiful new Eagle Stadium. The location was absolutely perfect. Even during the event, Nixa Athletics, Nixa Bands, and Nixa Wrestling were also able to capitalize on the fireworks show. In addition, I heard about so many people getting to enjoy the show from their own backyards as well. We look forward to keeping this tradition alive in the future. So that's just the big ones. That doesn't include all the ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, chamber luncheons, new teacher luncheons, working women in Nixa events, young professional events, golf tournaments, citywide garage sale, and so much more. You know, something else that's kind of cool, the Nixa Arts Council is finally getting major steam, and we're working on bringing 2 major projects to Nixa very soon, including Project Powerbox and our new downtown mural, partnering with the Downtown Revitalization Group. This year, we were able to also produce our own resource directories and city maps, which helped us to have even more of these directories in the hands of real estate professionals, regional visitor centers, businesses, title companies, city buildings, and many more locations in Nixa, spreading the good news about our town. Even as enjoyable it is to bring all those amazing events to Nixa, our favorite part of our mission is to impact local businesses, to focus on the Be Vocal for Shopping Local initiative, to foster business growth through engagement, one-on-one coaching and consulting, training classes, networking events, and so much more. Our members are the reason we can do what we do for our community, and we are so thankful for each and every one of them. Now, the newest and exciting thing your Nixa Chamber has launched now, here, let me just give you a hint. If you are watching this video, get out your phones, this device right here, go ahead and go to your favorite app store and search Experience Nixa. Go ahead, I'll give you a couple seconds. I'm kidding. But seriously though, if you have not done so, please download our new app. It's called Experience Nixa. We are so excited about being able to provide this for our community. And we have created an eat, shop, live, play model on where to find those things in Nixa. This app is for Nixa, and we have big plans for it that involves the entire community. This will be the app to have for all of our major events like Nixa Sucker Days and Nixpo and the fireworks show. Also, it's where to find other information about events happening in our community. Also, a great place to find out maybe where to dine and where to shop and, of course, where to play. We have already had 2 contests with it and plan on having more in the future. So download the app today, enable those notifications, and next time you are needing a product or service or info on something happening in Nixa, it's going to be right there at your fingertips. So as you can see, your chamber is an active chamber and loves serving our community. And as you know, we are always thinking big, and we think with a mindset of possibilities and love to come from contribution. We love our partnerships with so many organizations in the Nixa area and cannot do this without them. And we can promise you this too. We are out there every day behind the scenes of all of these events and these emails and social media. We are committed to fulfilling our mission to be recognized as the premier business organization by influencing Nixa and the greater Ozarks area through leadership and education while focusing on economic and business development, with the vision to be the leading advocate for business and economic opportunity. We appreciate all the support Nixa shows for its chamber and ask you to continue to financially support us as well. Oh, and don't forget to download the new app. Thanks for watching.
My name is Lloyd Wallace. I'm the Fire Chief of the Nixa Fire Protection District. I appreciate you letting me be here again this evening to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the Fire District. 2021 was the 35th anniversary of the Fire District. It was formed in August of 1986 by a vote of the people who were looking to merge the city and the rural fire departments at that time and create what was known as the Nixa Fire Protection District. So August of 1986 until August of 2021 became our 35th anniversary. In June of 1987, the district celebrated the grand opening of Fire Station Number 1 on Main Street. This year, like many, I'm sure we'll all be talking about COVID-19 and the effects it's had on our day-to-day operations over the past year. Early in 2020, we had to reduce the amount of calls that we were responding to in the community because of an inability to secure PPE for our first responders, or personal protective equipment. At that time, we reduced our call volume to only the highest of life threats, meaning some calls went unanswered by us and were handled by different agencies throughout the community. On March 1st of 2021, we did resume responding to all calls that came through 911 because we felt it was important to be there when our community had a need, and it was important for us to be there when you made that call. To date, our call volume has increased over prior years due to the effects of COVID-19, as well as the growth that we've seen in our community. PPE is more readily available, and our first responders wear PPE on each call in order to keep the community and themselves safe. This year, we were also able to resume some of our community events that were lacking or missing in 2020. NIXPO, the Sucker Day event, the 4th of July fireworks were brought back to the community. Our own Front Porch Fridays happened throughout the summer, as well as rental and reservations in our community room and in our fire stations for birthdays, station tours, and other events. School PR events at our local churches, daycares, and the public school system are already being scheduled for this fall, and we look forward to getting back into the school and visiting with your kids and teaching them about fire safety. We're also excited about visiting Nixa Public Schools on Friday evenings and being a part of the Nixa Eagles football team and the home games. Recruitment and retention continue to be a challenge in public safety, and the fire service is no exception. One concern that I have for the future is the amount of money that's being thrown at private sector jobs to attract and retain employees. That money often will outpace what we're able to pay or keep up with in public safety due to our tax levy restraints and other budgetary items. Unfortunately, we do not have the ability to raise the price on our goods or services to match those dollar amounts that are being paid to attract quality employees. This is something that we will continue to monitor and notify the community of in the future. In 2021, we also completed our second annual Regional Fire Academy. For the past 2 years, we've sent approximately 15 students through this academy to provide them the training and ultimately the certification they need to become firefighters, serving in various communities throughout the region. Academy number 2 was very successful, and the students completed their 12 weeks of training with no COVID-related issues or incidents. We're looking forward to the Regional Academy number 3 that'll occur in 2022 starting in January. And as an organization, we hope to sponsor or bring on to our roster 6 additional positions that will serve as reserve firefighters until they receive the required training, at which time we would hope to have a hiring list to fill future vacancies that we have in the fire district. Organizationally, we continue to see challenges with procuring goods and services throughout the fire district. Things like vehicles, personal protective equipment for our first responders, and other supplies necessary for the day-to-day operations are often difficult to acquire and cost more in this post-COVID environment. This year we did place a new pumper in service at fire station number 5. You may have seen it out and about in the community. It's a truck that we ordered in late 2019 and took delivery of in March of 2021. We are currently working through our strategic planning process and looking forward to sharing information with you in the next few months about what the future of the Nixa Fire District may look like. Census numbers coming out now show continued growth in the fire district within the city and the surrounding area. We have some very exciting things in the works and look forward to sharing those with you over the next few months. I, like many of you, look forward to the end of this COVID-19 pandemic and all of the related changes that we've experienced over the past few years as we work to find our new normal. It is my honor to serve you, the citizens of the Nixa Fire Protection District, and the 40 or so professionals that we have employed at the Fire Protection District. It truly does make Nixa a great place to serve.
Good evening. My name is Brian Steele, and I'm honored to be serving my 7th year as mayor for the city of Nixa. The Nixa community continues to grow, and Nixa City Council and staff work to keep up with that growth. We recently got our 2020 census data, and we were well over 23,000 and still remain one of the fastest growing communities in the state. Home prices and property values continue to increase as we remain one of the most attractive places in the state for people to move to, not only from the Ozarks, but from across the country, as people want to move here for our great quality of life and low cost of living. We continue adding new residential subdivisions, and this year alone we've already seen an increase of 131 homes with over 900 additional lots plotted for the future. This means soon our population will be well over 25,000 as we continue to increase year over year. When it comes to commercial development, we have a couple of very exciting projects in the pipeline that we just can't talk about yet, but will soon be released to the general public. We do have a couple of exciting projects that we can talk about: the new Scooters Coffee that will be built next to Getting Basted, and the Dollar Tree store that will be coming in south of Central Bank and Nixa Hardware. 2020 was a year of planning for the city, and 2021 has been a year of putting those plans into action. We have 6 main priorities in our strategic plan, and we've already made good progress on many of those. Our first priority is to make sure that Nixa sets an example for a high-performance government. To that end, we've made 3 great strides. We've opened up our city council meetings by having those streamed on YouTube to increase transparency. We've also tried to attract and retain top talent to the city of Nixa staff. And we've also worked to generate simple and understandable financial documentation that can open up the city finances to everyone in the community. Our second priority is public safety. Nixa continues to be ranked as one of the safest cities in Missouri and is often listed as the safest city in southwest Missouri. To this end, we've worked on a few different kinds of projects. We added a protected crosswalk at Aldersgate and Main Street. We've brought up existing sidewalks to help with wheelchair accessibility, and we continue to improve our Nixa Police Department's communication and transparency. Council is also reviewing the need to expand our Nixa Police Department. As our community continues to grow, our increased staffing will require the growth of that department as well. Our third priority is reliable infrastructure. MoDOT recently completed the project to widen Highway 14 west of 160 to 5 lanes. This will reduce congestion and also improve multiple intersections along that road. We're also able to add a sidewalk along that entire stretch on the south side of the road. A cost share project between the city, county, Nixa Public Schools, and the Ozark Transportation Organization recently resulted in a new sidewalk that will extend from the high school to the recently completed sidewalk along Highway 14. The city is also in the process of extending Truman Boulevard. This will connect to Norton Road and will open up traffic for multiple new subdivisions that are going into that area. We are also creating plans for improvements to North Street that will extend from Century Elementary up through Cheyenne Road. We are also investing in our utilities by adding smart metering, which will improve customer service and reliability throughout Nixa. And we are also excited to announce a major price reduction, which will save money for residents and businesses throughout our community. Our fourth strategic priority is to continue creating a sustainable economy. I'm so proud of our community and how we rallied around our businesses over the last couple of years. Many Nixa businesses had record years in 2020 and have continued to increase sales throughout 2021. That's all thanks to everyone remembering to shop local and to support our local businesses. Our fifth priority is called Fun and Unique Places. I'm very happy that our long-awaited Nixa Dog Park will soon be open for Nixa families and their pets. City Council has also approved a program with the Nixa Arts Council that will allow them to wrap some of our utility boxes. This, along with the facade grant, allows us to continue to beautify our community. Our new water painting program is also in place. The first tower to be able to receive this upgrade was the one by the high school, which now shows our beautiful Nixa Eagle logo looking over the football field. We're in the process of designing the north parcel of the Oak Family Century Farm Park to be a passive park that will allow for trails, picnic areas, and fishing. Our sixth priority is hometown spirit. This goal focuses on maintaining our small town feel by coming together around what makes us a united community. We want to continue to attract and embrace new members to our community. To help us with that, we've redesigned our new resident guide. If you know someone who's a new resident in Nixa, please send them by City Hall to pick up one of the new guides. 2022 will be another year of progress. We have many projects, both big and small, that will continue to extend our strategic plan. In 2022, we'll unveil our new website along with community branding. This will create a paper-free system across all city departments. We're all looking forward to MoDOT's completion of the Highway 14 widening project east of 160 all the way to Tiffany Highlands. This will include sidewalks on both sides of the street, along with improvements to multiple intersections. Home construction in Nixa is set to continue at the fastest pace in the region next year. New lots will become available in the subdivisions including Walker Woods and Estates, Copperleaf, Cheyenne Valley, Irish Hills, Forest Heights, Meadowbrook, and more. We also look forward to announcing some major projects that will improve the cost, efficiency, and reliability of utilities across the Nixa community. As our city continues to grow, all departments work hard to keep up with the needs of residents and businesses. We continue to innovate and work hard to create a great example of local government.
Hi, I'm Gerald Loden. I'm glad that we're able to celebrate tonight being back in our first seated State of the Community program in 2 years. We've had some great updates from our panelists tonight, and I'm glad I'm able just to talk for a few minutes about the schools and some of the things that we're working on and things that have happened the last school year. But often with us dealing with the pandemic, things that we're doing on a daily basis in the schools that we take for granted or our community may take for granted have actually been things that have made us a leader across the state, and not just the state but the nation at times. And last year, when the majority of the children across the nation were not in a seated classroom environment for the full year, we were able to provide that opportunity for all of our children. And I just encourage as community members, when you see our staff members, if it's our cafeteria staff, if it's our bus drivers, if it's our food service, our teachers that are working hard, our pairs, the admin team, just give them a big thank you, because we did things last year that uncharted, and we were able to provide wonderful opportunities for our children. When people talk about learning loss, and because of COVID, children not learning, children being behind, our state's even saying they're seeing large decreases in student performance across the state. And even though everything's not official yet, when we're comparing with some of the better districts that we like to compare to, we're seeing significant academic gains. And that goes back to our teachers in our classrooms and our parents working with our children in our classrooms being able to perform at a high level, even in challenging times. And that's because of all of us working together. The custodial staff doing the little extra things they did last year and this year to keep us safe. Our bus drivers making sure that we were able to transport kids when other districts are having to cancel transportation. But the little things that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that we're able to have school last year and even this year have been very challenging, but our team's doing a great job for us, making sure that we provide well-rounded experiences. And I can't thank our parents enough for trusting us with your child or children and allowing us to work with you to provide a quality education. And as far as a few updates, we have some exciting things that are happening, have happened over the last 12 to 18 months that we passed our bond referendum a few years ago. We've already benefited from a new stadium. We've just opened up 10 classrooms that have been hardened at Century, so you have the ability to withstand a tornado at Century and all the students and staff members can be safe. Currently, we're working on an infill at the high school that will allow us to meet the needs of well over 2,000 students at Nixa High. And then if you've been by the high school lately, it is a construction zone, and we have the Performing Arts Center that is in process right now. And wow, the campus is changing. It's going to look like a small college campus by the time everything is finished. When we finish our Performing Arts Center, we will have a state-of-the-art Performing Arts Center, but also we'll have renovated our old Performing Arts Center and our Performing Arts area, so band, choir, and theater will have better facilities than they have now, more square footage, which will allow them more room for growth. And then we'll have our new Performing Arts Center that will benefit not just our schools, but our community. Now, as far as things we're working on behind the scenes, most people have heard by now, but there's 38 acres on the other side of the football stadium at the high school that we've purchased. We're working on our long-range master plan, and we'll have it unveiled next year. But a lot of work's going on with our plans for what will we look like in the future, how can we maintain one high school and continue to be the Eagles, and also what facilities do we need in place to provide a well-rounded education and then experiences for our children. And we'll be announcing as we keep updates, but working on potentially our next bond, which will be in 23. You're looking at a plan that will maintain the current buildings that we have that our communities provided for us, while at the same time adding capacity for growth, and then fine-tuning our programs that we have so we can continue to increase the capacity of our programs, whether it's athletics, activities, intramurals is a big need that we're working on, because we know every child can't make the basketball team or play baseball, but we want to have lots of well-rounded intramural programs for our children to be engaged. So I think everyone would agree, if you're plugged into the high school, if it's in a CTE type program, if it's in an arts type program, performing arts, visual arts, or if it's in an athletic program, that helps you to be focused and be an Eagle, be a part of the school and love being at school. But that's a few of the updates for tonight. We're really excited about what we have in store. The year started off with a great note. very pleased with where we're at academically, and the team's just done a great job, and I'm so proud of them. And the theme this year that you hear more about is Better Together. And Better Together doesn't just include all of our staff members and our Sodexo Alliance team members, but also includes our community, because collectively, if we work together and partner together, we'll make Nixa to continue just to be this vibrant place where people want to move to and live, because it's this awesome place to live, work, learn, and play. Thank you, and have a good night, and thanks for being here tonight.